What's good, guys? Frankie Foresight here with another video, and it's been a little while. I think it's been like 2 weeks now since I made my last video, but this is gonna be a good one. Um, this video is gonna be on how you will rarely, if ever, find two masculine men that actually know how to fighting each other, and this is for many reasons. And just to get this out of the way before we continue, there are plenty of feminine men that know how to fight. There are plenty of feminine men that will go to great lengths to fight and in a fight. For example, a lot of the men in MMA and kickboxing and all this shit, a lot of those men aren't truly masculine. And see, and the very reason I say this, or like, is because, like, if I was to say this to one of these guys, like, face or something, they'd want to fight me or something like this. Not all of them, but some of them would just want to fight me. And that tells you right there how masculine they are, how much control they have over themselves. Really none at all. But it's apparent when you just look at the things that they do to earn money, fame, clout. For what? You're beating up another human and you're getting your ass beat up yourself for materialistic possessions, which, as I've told you guys before and as I'll tell you guys again, not masculine. Materialism is not masculine. But unfortunately, you have a lot of feminine men today that know how to fight and will fucking pick fights and just become bullies, really. Like, look at Conor McGregor as one example. He just talks so much shit, and don't get me wrong, he can back it up. He can back it up because he is a good fighter. Don't get me wrong on that. He is a good fighter, but I'm just saying, in terms of two masculine men, like actually masculine, stoic, self-controlled men that have discipline, real discipline, inner resolve, inner discipline, inner strength, you will never find two of those men fighting. And especially if they know how to fight and are fucking ruthless to the bone. And this is because these men know that if they get in some sort of confrontation or something, that it's not going to end well for anybody. It's just going to be a bloody mess. And someone very well could die. So that's why you will never find two masculine men. They will really do anything to avoid the fight because they realize, using their actual fucking mind and not their emotions, a lot of these feminine men that want to fucking fight all the time, they just fight because they're in their emotions and they can't control their emotions. Which is, honestly, that kind of man is just, he should be, like, avoided at all costs because he's, like, just a ticking time bomb. You never know when he's just gonna just, like, explode on you. You never know when his emotions are just gonna flicker in the wrong way. And this is essentially what a lot of people... There's this weird thing going on right now about how people talk about toxic masculinity and all this shit. Most masculine traits aren't toxic, but there are these few traits that I'm explaining to you right now that actually are toxic. A lot of men in the manosphere that claim to be masculine say that toxic masculinity doesn't exist or some bullshit like this. It does. And I've been through this before, that toxic masculinity is really the same thing as toxic femininity. And it's just your inability to control your emotions. And toxic femininity is much more mentally abusive because women use their minds and social dynamics more than men. And toxic masculinity is obviously much more physically abusive. And like I said, it all just comes down to managing your emotions. You can't manage them. That's why you get out of control. That's why you want to fucking fight everybody. You think I go around looking for problems, man? You think a guy that could fucking, when he gets into a fight, adrenaline is just running through his body like fucking water running through a pipe? Adrenaline is just flowing through all of his veins when he's in a fight. Do you really think that that man wants to get into an altercation with somebody? There's no telling what he'll do. There's no telling what will happen. Like I said, somebody could very easily die in that kind of situation. So, real men, real tough guys, real people with real willpower avoid fights. And that's the thing, willpower. Because you have the will to actually step away from the fight. You're not going around looking for problems. And a lot of these guys, I mean, obviously don't get me wrong, not all of them, because there are guys like Conor McGregor and shit like this that fucking talk all the shit in the world and they really can back it up. But a lot of guys who talk that big shit like that, who talk a big game, they can't back it up, and that's why they do that. That's why they go around trying to act like they can fight anybody, and they give you their backstory about what kind of fights they've been in and what they've done, all their fucking accolades. It's like they're reading through their fucking resume to you. It's sad, man. And it's really just a consumption of ego. They're just consumed by their own ego. Their ego precedes them. But like I said, you will rarely see two masculine men fighting, and it certainly won't be in the UFC or anything like this. Those are just two feminine men that know how to fight. But when you do see two masculine men fighting, it is certainly a sight to behold, I'll tell you. Because the guys that will do anything to avoid a fight, like I'm talking about, not like some scrawny ass kid. He's obvious that's avoiding a fight. He's obviously avoiding the fight because he can't fight. But guys that actually look like they can fight, and you might know that they can actually fight, and you can just feel that kind of energy coming off of them. It's not that they don't want to fight because they're scared of the fight. It's that they're scared of themselves and what they will do and what could come of what happens. You know what I mean? There's a saying, it's like, it's not the dog in the fight, it's the fight in the dog. And that's exactly what you have to be when you're in this kind of situation, especially in real life, not in no UFC ring or anything. Like, if you're really fighting for your fucking life, like, there's some guy, like, coming in your house, like, trying to kill you or some shit like this. Like, I will literally do anything it takes. I will push my fingers into your eye sockets. I will bite you. I will fucking grab your nuts and try to rip them. Like, I don't care. I do not care. Nothing, anything goes. That's the thing. Anything goes at that point. And when two masculine men are actually pushed to that point, it's just going to be a bloody fucking pool of a mess. And obviously, if they're smart, which they usually are, if they're masculine men and they know how to fight and whatnot, they're not going to let it get to that point. If anything, they will talk it out. If anything, they will settle it with some small altercation or some small fight. But they will rarely ever let it get to that point. Because when it does, like I said, there's no telling what the fuck could happen. Alright, that's it for this video, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Peace out.